Here too. Hello and welcome to our second session of Hearts of Wulin, The Bride with Pearl Nails. Last session, we did the setup of our characters for a good portion of the session, and then we got to playing. And what we're going to do today is we're going to go over what our safety tools are. We're going to check in with the characters and have them reintroduce themselves, and also check in with them about their entanglements and give us their pitch and see if there's anything choice-wise that they want to shift around, any changes they want to make. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and I am the designer and co-writer. Joyce Cheng wrote the other half of the book, so I'm only partially responsible for it. The stuff in the book is great, especially the cultural stuff, it is amazing. And Agatha did some of the sensitivity reading and helped with the initial development. I just want to mention that as well. Let me quickly go through our safety tools. We, of course, have the X card, and we also have our open door policy. And then we've set some lines and veils for the game. I just want to go through those, check in, make sure we're all on the same page on those, and remind you that if you want to add something to that, this is a living document, so changes can be made to that. We have hard lines on harm to animals, harm to children, sexual assault, and torture being done by the PCs. We don't have anything that we have a veil on set up for kind of a fade to black, but we do have check-ins if there were to be any kind of issues of homophobia, or mind control. We would want to check in with players before we were to bring those to the table. So those are there on there. And we also have a romance matrix there. We are going to get started. Let's go. And today we're going to start with, we're going to move down the character keeper. We're going to start today with Still Heart Bow. Still Heart. What I'd like to do is have you give us the elevator pitch on who your character is, talk about your entanglements, and then tell us if there are any changes that you want to make to your choices. One thing I do want to mention is I did move pictures around on the NPC tab to try and move all the ones that have been taken kind of up towards the top. There is one question I'll have when I get to 10 lung, but overall we're in good shape. No Avast, I don't want to do this thing while we're playing the game. Thank you. Let me turn that off. So Sherry, tell us who you are.
Let's see. Still Heart Bow is one of the cursed. So that is one of the outsider roles. And essentially he is bound by a force of fate and destiny. This may have a concrete form, such as a mystical person who has control over me. In my case, it is a ghost child that has been with me since my family was destroyed at an event, a situation that I have very little memory of. But when I was found and my vanishing mind was with me. She has always been with me. She is that tie back to my family, because what was left of my family among my relatives, they did not accept me. They claimed that I was not the child that I was before. And so I was sort of foisted off on other, essentially on sort of wandering swordsmen who would take me under their wing to train me some, and so that I did not bother my family so much with my strangeness and my eeriness. So I have grown up to be a monster hunter, but unfortunately it has turned out that Vanishing Mai is something of a magnet for supernatural forces. And so I tend to always run into those situations. And some people think that, in fact, I'm the cause of them. In fact, I'm only protecting people from those. So, and let's see here. I think my significant moves are, of course, being cursed. That's awesome. And also that I can perceive things about hidden energies, supernatural. I can see stuff. Vanishing Mai is clear to my eyes. Most people can't see anything or sense anything of them. And then, of course, my other thing is I can eerily show up once per session, just out of the blue, there to help someone.
Are you still good with both of those moves?
I love both of those moves.
Okay.
So I am good with those.
Tell us about your entanglements.
Yes, those are the most important things of all. So my romantic entanglement is, my general entanglement is that
Yes, you've mislabeled those.
I know I have. Okay. So my general entanglement is that I suspect Sharkfinger Princess knows much about my family's destruction. I hesitate to say was the one who destroyed my family, because I hold Sodden Rope in high regard, having traveled with them and fought alongside them. But I know that if I were to mention this, that Sodden Rope would be angry. They are very fond of Sharkfinger Princess, whom I have never met. And then my romantic entanglement is Captain Fang and I love one another, but that will change if they learn of my history with Tang Lan, who is from a order of nuns who is, how do you say? I would say that they do not agree with the sensibilities of Captain Fang and his company. He looks down upon them. That is
true.
And they are indeed perhaps not the most worldly of an order.
Fair enough. I think that's a fair assessment. Or at least Captain Fong would say that is a fair assessment.
Yes.
All right. We're going to move on to Tong Long. Tell us about yourself.
So Tan Lon is a painfully thin, tall, somewhat shabby looking warrior monk. She spends her time on the road and clearly shows it in sort of the dustiness and drabness of her attire. She's been wandering the roads ever since her. Well, do you want me to go through the character sheet or just sort of babble?
Just to give us the elevator pitch in your character.
All right.
And then we'll talk about your entanglements.
She's tormented by the ghost of her former mentor's wife, who fell in love with Tan Lan and killed the mentor and then committed suicide, and since then has kind of pursued Tan Lan as a ghost, a ghostly form. Tan Lan is
what is her name?
You know, that's what I was sort of frantically looking for my notes.
I couldn't find it in my notes.
There is a piece of paper somewhere in this room with that name written on it, but I don't have it handy.
Okay.
Tan Lan is a bit of a rogue and a bravo. She is a monster hunter. She's very good at coaxing people to come drink with her. That's one of her moves, is come drink with me. And she's also has established a wide-ranging canny network of somewhat shady contacts. And that is the other move, is heads for sale, which lets her perhaps lay her hands on useful things, perhaps not. Other entanglements, beyond the fact that, well, it's still connected to my mentor. Partially, I love Chin Li, but my teacher, Lion Fist Killer, killed their earlier incarnation, which is very complicated. And I'm very worried about my friend Stillheart Bao, because I think that their mentor is actually a villainous sorcerer. I haven't broached this with Stillheart Bao because, you don't want to bring these things up, but I'm pretty sure of it.
That seems reasonable. We will call her the haunted wife,
the
haunting wife for the moment. We'll until we get a different name. But I think that gives us a good sense of that. Now let's come to the two most complicated characters in terms of identities and images and personas and all of that. So Shou Yubo, Sodden Rope. Tell us about yourself.
I was once named Zhao Yubo. Now I go by Sodden Rope. As Zhao, I was portrayed on a boat, tied and thrown overboard and the shark finger princess saved me, and that is when I became Sodden Rope. Hopefully no one will recognize me for who I was before, because I am in a bond with Huijing, and Onyx Viper blames me for their death. Yet to be determined how I'm responsible, or how they think I'm responsible. I also have a little bit, a romantic or a platonic crush on the Shark Finger Princess, and I am jealous because she seems to think that I am Perfect Cloud, and therefore I do not like Perfect Cloud, and Perfect Cloud does not like me. So the feeling is mutual, and mutual feelings are always the best kind of feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you happy with your picks for your moves and entanglements?
Yeah, I'm good for now.
All right.
Yeah.
And we can shift there. Oh, you've still got one to pick too. So
yeah, I can't decide on which one I want, so I'm gonna wait until the moment, like, oh, this will be the perfect time to get that move. But and also I'm like really excited to hopefully use the one I picked. What's it called?
the Emperor of the Underworld.
Emperor, yes, that one.
Understood.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then last but not least, Chin Li.
Okay, so the character that I'm playing, his current identity is called Chin Li. But so that's the body is Chin Li, and he goes by this name now. But the soul inside of Chin Li, what used to be called Hui Xing, but he died. And then Chin Li, who is the subordinate of Hui Xing, somehow revived Hui Xing, but took him into his own body. So the soul of Qin Li is now dead, and Hui Xing is inside Qin Li's body, but going by that identity, and he is back for revenge.
Excellent.
That's Qin Li in a nutshell. So Qin Li is his role is a villain and is reborn here to take revenge on everyone that wronged his name, and basically like smeared his name, got him killed, all of those classic I cannot remain dead until I write my name kind of thing. Let's see, yeah, I came back to life along with a eunuch who was sent to give me an imperial order, but then ended up dying alongside me, and then also wants revenge. So is kind of like, I think, supposed to guide me, but also despises me. We have this kind of like iffy relationship. So there's that. The other moves that I took, one of them is Born Invincible. I regret my past life and seek real redemption through sacrifice. I want to take the enemy alone, and then like fall in the fiction. And I think like my biggest regret is that I couldn't save my other, like the other people in my army. Oh no, like my group.
Your close people, your entourage who served you,
my entourage
who loyally followed you.
yeah,
General for life, all that.
Yeah, exactly. So I regret that. I have a lot of regret in my life, in my unlife, and then the other move that I took that I'm very excited to use is Lover's Arrow, which is when I accidentally or deliberately intercept signs, messages, or go-betweens which tell of a target's affection for someone. I roll because, again, I am very excited to just get into everyone's business.
Okay.
And I hope that will bring Qin Li angst. that's what I'm really excited about. Everything that I chose is supposed to be from Maximum Angst. My entanglements, my romantic one is I saved Still Heart Bao, who I desperately love, but Captain Feng took credits and has used that to begin courting them. And I am very stunted in my emotional growth, so I don't know how to express my feelings. So there's that, and then my general one is I have to keep my ambitions for revenge against Shark Finger Princess hidden from my sword friend Xiao Yubo. Well, I guess she goes by Sodden Rope now, but she hasn't told me that. So
you had that weird encounter where you were uncertain. You revealed your identity. There was that back and forth that happened last time on the boat. So you still have to kind of work out what how your friendship stands now. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
So just a couple notes on the stars and wishes from last time, just to remind us. More magic stuff, more high magic, more character intrigue and interactions. Get a chance to use Emperor of the Underworld, melodrama and heartache, darkness. I think those are my short notes from that. So you have arrived on this massive wedding ship, barge, multiple levels to it. There are smaller vessels alongside that are for guests, but also like set up to be entertainment venues for the guests to go down to and so on. And it's just a massive, mammoth, brightly lit, lanterned place here. But it's the evening. The wedding is not for a couple of days, but it is the evening. You can hear the sounds of people singing, of musicians playing, of drinking going on, and you and the others, all of you have been brought on board, rescued, but you've rescued yourselves, but brought on board. Captain Feng and others arrived to see what was up with the mist and that strange monster that had been summoned and those undead musicians, which you're still not entirely certain what was going on with that. Were they targeting you? Were they targeting someone else? It's unclear. But we will start with you've arrived, and essentially you're kind of, immediately thrown into this crowd of people, and you kind of have a chance to go where you want to do what you want to do, to talk to who you want to talk here. But let's start with Still Heart Bao. Captain Feng will look and come over to you and say, Still Heart Bao.
Stand about.
You seem much recovered from the trial that you just underwent.
It was nothing.
Well, I do have this flower for you. And he will pluck it from his mouth and hand it to you very, very carefully. And
I always wonder how he talks through those flowers. I'm impressed by this.
brings that out. And he says, I have some matters to attend to. My friend the groom has some tasks for me. As well, there's a guest arriving later that I must prepare for.
If there's anything I can do to help you in those duties, I would be glad to do so. I am at your disposal, Captain Feng.
No. Do not worry yourself. You should relax, enjoy yourself. But we will have a chance to spend some time together later.
I will watch for you.
And I will watch for you. What do you want to do, Bao?
Well, first, I will take the flower and kind of look at Ven Xingman and give her the smile, and go, what do you want to go look at? Because there's all the different acts going on. I figure we'll end up over by the puppet shows.
Okay. Yeah. So what, you can wander through here. There is a certain amount of like performance for the families, but also it seems like maybe there are other sections of the boat that are given over to maybe a little more adult entertainment for dancers, poets, performers, but perhaps the gambling houses, some of those things set up for those kinds of additional entertainments.
I mean, I have a little kid with me.
You do.
Still, the gambling den sounds very interesting. I have never really done much gambling. I will sit down and go through the bags that I have and put the coins together that I have. And I'm like,
How much
of this-
how much money do you think you have?
It's a good question. I think of him as a person who, like, when he needs a thing, usually has the money for it. But otherwise doesn't pay attention. So I imagine that he probably has a little bit more than he had any sense of carrying around with him,
Okay.
after he goes through all the bets. So I think he'll probably choose some sort of amount of it that he would take to go do that. He seems like he's trying to be careful. I'm sure
Okay.
that will fly away in the heat of the thing.
Absolutely. So you gather that and kind of head off. Crowded. I mean, it's like a city in here, a bustling city. Even though you can kind of feel a little bit of the shifting of the boat, it is still a boat, so you feel that slight rocking that you're attuned to. I will remark, if I may, that you have one element marked. And the way that you clear elements is by kind of narrating a scene of how you clear them in between. We'll come back to that and see if there's something you want to do to clear that element.
Okay.
Do you think, Tonglam, I mean, you're a little more, some would say, rough around the edges. Do you think a city scene like this, a kind of a dense thing like this, is this to your liking? Is this will make you a little more uncomfortable? Where do you think you fit in this?
Tonlan is actually doing two things, and one is drinking, because
Okay.
there's clearly the booze is flowing.
Oh yeah.
But also Tonlan's working the crowd a little and being like, yes, I'm a monster hunter of some repute, yes, and kind of like, you have some trouble with, I don't know, goblins, Tengu, whatever, and I'll list this kind of like long list of possible demons, and just say, I am available for hire, and I'll kind of clap them on the back and keep working my way through the crowd.
Let's have you roll. You are trying to work the crowd a little. You are trying to impress people.
I am trying to impress people.
So you need dice, though. No electronic, no virtual dice for you.
I don't want to find the URL for the
Okay, fair enough.
I rolled an 8.
But what were you rolling with?
Oh, well, that's a good question. I was rolling with, let's see, this is for the kind of working the crowd.
Yeah.
I'm going to use fire. No, I can't use fire. It has to be metal or wood. I'm going to use wood.
Okay.
Because of curiosity.
All right.
So
you will make a decent impression on a hit. You impress, and you get to choose two options from that impress basic list. And that's basically, you can gain a bond with somebody who's watching you, you can clear a marked element, or you can gain a favor from an observer.
I think I'm gonna impress a guard. Like,
okay.
Kind of like make friends with one of the guards on board this ship, and get a chance to kind of, well, like I'll buy them a drink, they'll buy me a drink, we'll kind of get to chatting.
So we'll kind of say that one of the more highly placed guards on the vessel, has maybe heard your name, mentions the village that you saved, and knows who you are. So if you need something from them later, they're willing to do that. But you get a second pick.
Oh, and my second pick is I'll go ahead and clear an element.
Okay.
I will clear water.
I do think that there is a person, a woman who comes over to where you are at, who says, I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. My name is Ashen Twilight.
Ashen Twilight.
She says, I heard that you are a monster hunter of a
Of
sort.
some repute.
Of some repute, she says, with maybe just a hint of disdain. But she says, I just want you to be aware that there is another of some gifts and skill who will be arriving, who has been actually invited to perform those services by the family. I hope that you will not get in their way.
Well, Tanglon is just going to be sort of oblivious to this and be like, yes, I look forward to seeing my comrade in arms, monster hunter. Let us drink to them. And I will use the come drink with me move, actually.
To kind of hold her in place?
Yes.
Okay. She clearly wants to get away. And she does correct you that the person she's talking about is not a monster hunter. She doesn't do the air quotes, but you can hear the air quotes when she says them, but is rather an exorcist.
Excellent.
And then you trap her, like she can't, she keeps trying to, like, well, I should, and then you're like, well, and
I'm telling her stories, and I'm telling her, I'm explaining at length how exorcists and monster hunters have their kind of subsets of each other, and how
not at all
exactly
alike.
that
No,
works.
no,
Yes.
that is not at all that have it. Yes. Excellent. Sodden rope. You managed to wheedle your way here onto this vessel. There were some minor questions about what you were doing here, but now that you've arrived, no one takes a second look. You are here in this crowd. The only one who perhaps gives you a second look before they go away is Perfect Cloud, who again regards you with a gaze of suspicion, but then heads on. What do you want to do?
I think she wants to basically look at the crowd from the outside in, because she still is wondering why she sensed Shark Finger Princess. And also, but I think, like, even though she's like looking out for her eyes keep wandering over to the person formerly known as Wei Jing.
Okay.
Because with the wuxia drama version of "This isn't my beautiful house, this isn't my beautiful wife." So I'm like, you obviously know who I am, and I'm pretty sure you're Hui Jing, but you do not look like my buddy. I'm kind of confused.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to wander around? Do you want to approach Qin Li?
I think I do.
Okay.
But I think it's like that. I think, like, in her head, she's like, I'm trying to be on the DL, and I don't know if they're trying to be on the DL. So I think she wants to try and approach them in that, like, oh, what lovely weather we're having kind of way. Like, I'm obviously not here to interrogate.
Absolutely. So I think now you've gotten your boots on the deck of this vessel. You're looking around and maybe contemplating your next move, Lee, when Sodden Rope approaches you again before you have kind of a chance to decide where you want to head to next. Do they seem uncomfortable? Are you a kind of person who is sensitive to that kind of emotional interaction, or does that go past you, do you think?
I am not sensitive to that at all.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So I see you approaching me, and I'm always standing very straight and like with my like with my hand behind my back, kind of like, and I turn around to you and I say, not quietly, Sharibo.
I go by Sodden Rope now.
I see. Sodden rope.
What happened to you?
I was wronged. And I must right that wrong. There are many people here today that took part in that. Just so you know, I suppose, as you have gotten a new name, I'm also no longer Huixing. Huixing has died. And now I'm Qinli.
If Shinli needs my assistance, he will have it.
And at that, I like put a hand on your shoulder. Sodden rope. Yes, I do need your help. I have heard that Sharkfinger Princess is here.
Yeah, I sensed her too, but I haven't seen her since we came aboard.
You are familiar with them.
Yes. In a way, she is why I am no longer Xiao Yubo.
What has she done to you?
It's not what she did. It's why we met, is why I am no longer who I used to be. I was betrayed and she saved my life.
Chinley, before we go on, I think this is a moment when that general entanglement that you have, maybe you maybe realize it.
Yeah.
That suddenly you see how Sodden Rope kind of, how her eyes avert, how her cheeks go a little rosy, breath catches. Could I please have you roll inner conflict?
Oh, yes. How
What do you want to roll that with?
I'm gonna roll that with metal. I need to control myself in this situation. Okay. Roll a 6, but my metal is 1, so that is
Okay.
a 7.
So do you want to mark metal, keep yourself calm, hide your reaction, or do you want to kind of a little more clearly flee this interaction?
I will mark metal.
Okay. Keep yourself set. Hide
And
your realization.
oh my gosh, how do I okay. My like freaking Sorn sister just found her talking about my Sorn enemy. She's like, I see. I see. Wine? And I'll grab a bowl from somewhere and just like throw it back.
And inside a rope, like you know, there was a little admission on the part of the general that they are here with some hostile intent towards the figure of your love. What's your reaction to that?
I think it's probably concern because the way I see it, I feel like with my other entanglement with Onyx Viper, I probably don't know why, which means I probably am, since we're both being vague about what happened to us, I don't know exactly what happened to Beijing. So I'm like, oh shit, did my what happened? Oh no, what happened? And so yeah, I think she's worried that Finger Princess has something to do with what happened to Huijing. And yeah.
Do you feel conflicted?
Uh
Does it rise to the level of inner conflict? That's my question for you.
I don't think I know. I don't have all the pieces of the puzzle yet. So I think it's more like vague concern, like, oh my God.
Yes, but wine arrives like the second that Chun-Li, that you say wine, someone is there with bowls for you. They hand them off to you, and it's good quality wine. These families have money, they have power, they have influence. Everything that you wanted, that you lost, they have. But they have wine too, and they hand that to you freely.
Yeah, it tastes like ashes on my tongue because I can't taste anything anymore.
Oh no,
because I'm dead.
So I'm going to move on and to kind of come back, and I might flip the order there to let when we come back around of that. Still heart bow. You head down to the gambling tables?
Yeah. And as you said, my mental is sort of messed up right now. So I think it makes sense that he is gambling because control is not top of his mind.
Okay.
If you say anything.
Do you think that this is how you reset your metal is through this?
I think it is. I think like he doesn't realize that's going to happen that way, but he gets to rolling the dice and get sort of excited about it. And of course the thing is he's very odd to watch because he's got Vanishing Mai, and he like lets Mai, like he waits for Mai to choose like which two dice he's going to pick up and those kinds of things. So there's that kind of thing where he does an odd pause and he's like clearly watching something that no one else can see. And those things, but he has no sense of being strange at all when he's doing all of this. Yeah.
Let's have you clear your metal.
Okay.
And do you want to roll Overcome to see how you do?
Sure. That sounds excellent. So let's see here. And since I would be rolling a thing, let's roll metal again. I've cleared it. Let's throw it back up in the wind. Okay.
Put that at risk.
What is it? It's like a -1, isn't it?
It's a 0.
It's a 0. Okay. Rolling 2d6. Oh, I rolled 10. There you go.
So you come away. Mai picks those dice for you, tells you what to do, kind of gives you hints about things, and you will walk away with several silver tails. You had pennies before, but now you've got a little bag with those, and people are looking at you odd, like you've had a good winning streak, and people are coming over, and now you're everybody's friend.
Really? Oh well, yeah. I will buy a round of drinks. Wait, do you have to buy a round of drinks? What would you have to buy here?
No, you would tip people. You would give gifts, very, very ostentatious gifts to performers, that kind of thing.
All right, I will. I will watch other people do that and then mimic them. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Absolutely. So your medal is clear. You've got a little more money, and you kind of blended in here with the woodwork, as it were. So
This
you've
must
got
be what it's like to be a regular person.
regular person. Yeah, it's probably the first time in a while you felt this sort of normal, or at least not stared at with
Exactly.
worry. Let us come back to you, Tang Lan. You have Ashen Heart, kind of Twilight, Ashen Twilight, held there, kind of. She's still trying to like extricate herself, but unable to.
I will let her go eventually, and I will like say, and I will, let's see. I will thank her so profusely for all her kind words about my monster hunting and the various knowledge that she has been so gracious to share with me, and talk about how much I've enjoyed drinking with her, and how I'll tell all my friends about this joyous occasion and how much fun she was to drink with, and then I'll just sort of wander away.
And you can tell she's probably going to avoid you from this point forward. She has learned something of a lesson here. But what do you want to do now?
I want to talk to my guard friend, and
Okay.
and like, hey, Ashen Twilight was talking about this figgy wig exorcist guy coming, or exercise guy or gal or person. You know anything about that?
Oh, yes. The Monarch of Stone
Ooh,
is coming. He is an exorcist of some repute, unlike some of the wild Taoist exorcists that wander and are like wild woodsmen. He's a skilled, trained exorcist who has grasped the practices of several traditions and blended them together. You will know him when you see the butterflies.
I'll know him when I see the butterflies. All right.
He
So
is
like
he is enlightened, and there's a cloud of butterflies that surrounds him.
a cloud of butterflies. Well,
Yes.
that's unusual, I say. So he's going to come, and like the spectral musicians that we saw, all of that, he's going to come take care of that. He's going to.
The spectrum musicians. What do you
Oh,
kind of? Well, I don't know if that was he. What I know is this: is that there were warnings given
were
to the bride and groom and their family that there would be supernatural forces, not just the villainous shark-fingered princess, but other supernatural forces that might attempt to disrupt this. They foresaw ghosts of death and vengeance arriving
of
on the ship.
death and vengeance.
And so they summoned this exorcist to protect and to seek out. It is said what the oracle saw is that they would attempt to hide and pass themselves amongst the guests.
And how would you, I mean, like, there's no way of knowing then if a guest is a ghost of death and vengeance, I guess is what you're saying.
That's why you get an exorcist. Yep.
So I'm a monster hunter. This is a game thing. I'm
Yeah.
a monster hunter, and to me, it seems kind of bogus that there would be ghosts that would actually kind of infiltrate as wedding guests. So I'd like to use the study move to try
Okay.
and see whether this is actually possible.
Sure. What do you want to roll with?
I'm going to roll. I forget that I always forget I have to roll with something. I am going to roll with Earth.
Okay.
My caution, focus, present stat. I have rolled a 5.
You have rolled a 5. So I think that as you're kind of thinking about that, you will hear a rumbling voice from behind you say, I dared not think it, but is that the notable monster hunter Tang Lan? I couldn't help but overhear your conversation, and you'll look over your shoulder and you will see Iron Lion.
Oh, well, I guess I should have expected that because Stillheart Bow is here, and I will whirl around, and you see Timeline's eyes get really big for a minute, and then she kind of like recovers herself and kind of bows in greeting to Iron Lion.
We are well met. It seems as if you have some questions about the more magical or sorcerous arts. Perhaps I can be of assistance to you.
This fellow's, I'll just like go right ahead. Yes, well, you should get some of this excellent drink that's here. This plum wine here is very lovely. But tell me, sir, do you believe it would be possible for ghosts of death and vengeance to infiltrate as wedding guests? My belief is that their appearance would render such a disguise ineffectual because, as you know, ghosts of death and vengeance look like ghosts of death and vengeance. They don't look like kind of pleasant, happy people. They look like ghosts of death and vengeance.
I suspect that in your particular line of work, you have only dealt with the more brute, lower class of hauntings and phantasms. There are those more sophisticated Jiangshi who can assume a human guise as well. Fox spirits, that's another possibility for things that could be here. But there are things that come back sometimes. Dangerous things that have been brought back by others, summoned, and they could be here. So I would not discount it too readily, my monster hunting friend. Are you here on a particular trail?
I am here seeing my friend Stillheart Bow, who is also here and would be endangered by any summoned creatures or ghosts. You remember Stillheart Bow, your mentee.
I do. I was unaware that he is here. That is joyous news for me that you have brought. Thank you.
You are so welcome.
I'm sure our paths will cross again.
Silently toast to him and kind of fade back into the crowd.
Okay. You notice he hasn't like raised a glass. He hasn't touched the wine. He just keeps his eyes on you, and then he also kind of fades back into the crowd. You get a chill.
All right. Well, I may look for Stillheart Bow and see if they know that Iron Lion is here.
We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Chinley, there's a little bit of drinking between you and Sodden Rope, kind of that back and forth, that discussion. Do you want to continue on with that? Do you want to break off from it? What do you want to do? I would like to help, Mother.
He's hungry. I think what I would like to do is I think I feel like Sodden Rope is it not that she's not trustworthy, but it's that I'm not really sure how and well, I understand that if her life is saved by someone, there is at least a life debt there. So I
Yeah.
can ask her to help me in my endeavor against what is it, Sharkfinger Princess. So I will like I think like after just like downing a couple bowls, I will like put it down with like, it's not that I'm trying to put it down with force, but I'm also like maybe not paying as much attention to that. So it kind of seems like I'm like being rude. Yeah, because my fire is checked, so I am reckless and alienating. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm like putting it down, and then I just like nod to Sodden Rope, and then I'm gonna walk off
Okay.
in search.
What do you want to search for? You walk away, you leave Sodden Rope kind of in the dust behind you. What do you want to do here? You want to talk to somebody? Will you investigate? What do you think?
Yeah, I am definitely I'm gonna say like kind of under my breath this name oh, of my ghost friend. Gao Wulin.
The eunuch Gao.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I probably call him.
Yes,
Gao.
I'm right here.
With the fan. Aside from Sharkfinger Princess, who else do you sense is here that took part in this plot?
I can smell the blood of our killers here. There are others. But as you know, I do not know names. Perhaps when I see them, I may be able to smell it upon them. But that would require you to stop drinking and actually do something. General.
I start walking around, striding around. And like just I look like I'm looking for someone.
Okay.
As I'm like just like going through the crowd.
Absolutely. This feels like a study roll.
Yeah.
What do you want to roll that with? Since you have but 3 elements left to you.
I am going to roll plus. I think I'm going to roll plus wood actually, because that's
okay.
Like I need to have patience.
Absolutely.
Right. I rolled a 5 and my wood is -1, so that is a 4.
I think you will hear a voice cry out, Chin Li! Chin Li! Chin Li!
I turn around.
And you'll see this woman. She is accompanied by a couple of attendants, a couple of handmaids, and she pushes her way through the crowd and rushes up to you and grabs your hand. I did not think you would come. You were the note you sent me was that you were so involved in your studies and your workings, but you've come. Does this mean you've changed your mind? She says that last part more quietly.
I pull my hand away. What is this about?
And you can see like she goes a little pale at that reaction, and she kind of stands up a little more formally. Oh, I see. I was just surprised that you were here. You had indicated that you would not be coming to the wedding.
Hey. And I like don't say anything because I don't know. I've never had to.
And she's
salvage
waiting there
shit.
for you to say something like clearly. And I think you can see, like, she does raise her hand up, with cloth, kind of trying to keep her face maybe a little bit covered. And she'll say, well, I will yes. And she will turn, and you'll realize that there are people looking, like, this is clearly somebody very important. And there are people kind of looking and watching as she turns, and her two handmaids kind of fall in behind her, and she moves away. And people are staring at you like, what did you say to the bride? Like,
Does someone actually say that to me?
somebody hear that, overhear somebody say, who is that? What did he say to the bride? How did he offend her?
Okay, I am going to. What do I even have on my person? I think. Maybe it's like a ring or something
Okay.
that Chinli wears. I'm just like Chinli just wears, like, I never took it off because Chinli was wearing it when he died. But I'm gonna like stride back forward and say, I have not congratulated you on your wedding.
She looks up at you. You're taller than she is.
And I'll remove the ring from probably from my thumb. I have congratulations, and I'll like give her the ring.
I want you to roll hearts and minds. Well, let's see like how you managed to smooth this here. What do you want to roll that with?
Probably water, wisdom, awareness.
That seems like a fair roll to make.
Yeah. Okay, I rolled an 8 plus 1 is 9.
Oh, wait, would some help be accepted? Because I could appear alongside of you.
So you have an 8 right now?
I have a 9.
You have
I
a
rolled
9.
an 8, and then my water is 1.
Okay.
So it's
Still heart bound. You want to show up and
yeah, I will show up. And I know this is the bride because they've gone by and that's pointed out to me. And I'm like, oh, Jingli and the bride. And he'll bow and say, Dawning Glory. And I'll and it's so happy to meet you. And I'll turn to King Lee and Jingli and say, do you know each other?
we're mere acquaintances, she says very quickly, lying.
And looks at Jingli, kind of looks back and says, he sort of leans into her and he goes, Jingli has had a fever for some time. He may not be entirely himself.
Oh. Let's have you roll comfort and support here.
Okay.
Val, what do you want to roll that with?
I'm gonna roll that with, let's see here. Probably well, I think I'll try to roll that with water.
Okay.
I will do what? Yeah, so this is 2d6 and I'm adding 1.
Absolutely.
So 11.
11. So not only can you add that +1, you yourself can declare an element if you wish.
No, I don't have one. So what can I do other than that?
Then what you can do is give Chin Li a bond with you.
I will do that.
Okay.
So
And she takes this ring and she looks and she goes, "I'm sorry that you were ill, Chin Li." And she looks at it. This clearly means quite a bit to her. And she closes her hand, tries to do it quickly so that no one sees that you've given her a gift. But she holds it close to her chest and she says, I hope we can speak later.
Yes.
She bows. You can see the handmaids are not happy about this interaction. And they do kind of like move her away fairly quickly.
I will clap Tim Lee on the shoulder and I'll say, did you really not remember her?
Should I?
She knew who you were. I've had that happen to me on occasion. I assume that I look like someone, maybe, but someone who has the same name as I do.
You are very sociable. And that is very admirable.
Let's cut there. Let's take our first break and we'll come back with Sod and Rope to start out this next thing. So we'll take 10 minutes and we'll come back and we'll see what mischief Sod and Rope is going to get up to. Okay. Sod and Rope slams down the drink and walks away from you and kind of vanishes out into the crowd and you're kind of left on your own again. What do you do?
I kind of watch them leave, and I'm pretty sure she has an inner monologue. I'm like, I can't find Shark Finger Princess. My bro is mad at me. I don't know why Onyx Viper is angry at me. Perfect Cloud's an asshole. I don't know what to do. Obviously more eloquently than that. Yeah. So I think, so I think I think that inner monologue narration takes a little bit of time. But
we get a little bit of flashbacks of each of the NPCs.
Yeah.
Reuse a little bit of footage, but it looks good.
Yeah. Because I imagine that her encounter with Onyx Viper was the Onyx Viper just like trying to attack her and like, I don't know what I did with you. Why are you attacking me? It's like, you know what you did. I'm like, I really need context.
Yeah, I mean, Onyx Viper might well be here at the wedding.
She certainly hopes not. So yeah, I think since her bro went off, she's gonna go back to looking for Shark Finger Princess because that's why she came aboard in the first place. So, okay. and she has Earth marks, so she's obsessed.
Then let's have you roll study.
Okay. I think I'll have her roll water.
Okay.
She's trying to be aware of her surroundings. Where's the URL for the dice roll?
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Copy. I'll drop it in the chat.
Yeah, I used to use Google, but Google's like, I don't feel like doing the
No,
dice
no,
roll.
they're not going to roll for you anymore.
Yeah, it used to.
Remember Hangouts had the roller? You could have it built
Yeah.
into. Stupid Google.
RIP. Okay. 2d6. What?
That appears to be a 6 that you rolled there total.
Yeah. Can I'll burn my bond with Shark Princess to make it a 7 since I'm
Okay.
looking for her.
Absolutely. So you have
Okay.
one hold. You can ask a question or you can make a declaration.
Okay. Let me see what questions there are.
Questions or whatever you want.
Oh, okay. Okay, here's the question I'm going to ask. So it'll be like player knowledge, but not character knowledge. Does
Sure.
Okay, so assuming that Sharkfinger Princess is here, which I assume because that's what everyone's worried about, does Sharkfinger Princess know that Sodden Rope is here?
Yeah, I think that as you were moving around looking, I think that there's one, and again, there are these sort of houses, kind of like multi-story buildings built kind of on the deck of this ship. So we have like, balconies and things and roofs. They're kind of lit in shadow. And I think you are moving around looking, trying to get to a vantage point. And I think there is a moment where you look up and in the distance, you will see a figure standing on one of the roofs, just barely illuminated by one of the lanterns. And you will see the Sharkfinger Princess there. And she sees you and shakes her head a little and she steps back into the shadows.
Everyone's upset with me. No.
Do you want to roll inner conflict?
Yeah, at this point, yes, I do. Because
Yeah,
even if I don't
that's
know
a little
the
bit of
context,
heartache. Yeah.
I'm like, no, why is everyone mad at me? Okay. What am I rolling? Oh my God. I'm not sure which element to roll for this one. I mean, this is inner complex, so I guess metal makes sense because I'm trying to control my feelings.
Right.
All right, so roll 2d6s again. Gosh, girl, stop rolling so bad. Well, that gives me a 5, so
this hand grabs your shoulder and spins you around. And you will see standing there is your cousin, Razor Eye's Eye. And she looks at you and she says, "Where have you been?" Your family has been searching for you. You vanished. You told no one where you were going. People thought you were dead. There were rumors that someone tried to kill you. And you've not come back. And now you're here at the wedding? What? And she's just furious. Will you say nothing for yourself?
I think Sodden Rope gets in her face and so like because she's of course faithful role, so her emotions are like YOLO. And she says, yeah, I did nearly die. And as the water filled my lungs, where were you and the rest of the family?
And so she's trying to like not she's trying to come back here. Now, got a couple ways we can handle this. Do you want to shut her down, essentially with the hearts and minds? Or do you want to shut her down with another move that you have?
Oh. Yeah, no, she got, yeah, I have no control right now. I was gonna
Okay.
save it for something else, but I wanna, yeah, let's go. Okay, so yeah, so I want to think I want to use Emperor of the Underworld.
Okay.
Yeah. I still have to roll.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. When you strip away on a hit, you gather your people. Okay. All right. Since I failed my last roll, do I mark that element or no?
No, if I put in, yeah, this is a hard enough move. I'm not going to make you mark that element yet.
Okay.
I want to wait till you fail again, and then we'll do that.
Okay, so this is probably fire, obviously, because she's at her limit. She's having a very bad day. Please roll above average. What? It didn't roll. Oh, I didn't roll. Oopsies. Sorry.
Oh.
5, 6. I keep rolling garbage.
So what does that look like when you terrify her?
I think okay, so there's that rope tightening sound before, and like beneath her like damp clothing, you can see the rope burns, and like as she breathes out, you can like even though it's not cold, you can see her breath as her teeth elongate, and her the roof of her mouth and like just in front of her tongue, like more teeth sprout up, and her eye, like her dark eyes spread to the whites of the eyes, and I think, yeah, and I think she bellows out like a roar, but it sounds instead of like it sounding like "come at me," it sounds more like with full of anguish, like it's like the angry, like the shark version of "why is everybody angry at me?"
And her scream catches in her throat, the absolute terror in her face, and you see her fall back, and she falls, and you see her hit her head, and you will see her fall, and blood is running out from the wound on her head. But like the people who were around, all they saw was you. They heard this bellow, and then like you must have pushed or struck her because she's fallen to the ground, and everyone's looking like, oh my God, what did this person do? And your cousin is laying there bleeding and unconscious. What do you do?
Okay, so I don't really give a fuck about her right now.
Probably not. Yeah.
No. I think Sodden Rope says like laughs in a through her rows of teeth, which I don't even know what that sounds like, and says I heard some of you were looking for the Shark Princess, Finger Princess. Well, here I am.
Going to call them out? Are you going to like challenge the group around you? Or are you going to go away at that point? What do you want to do? I think so many people here.
Yes. Yeah, I think her intent was to, like, even though her crush is disappointed in her, was to like draw attention away now that she knows she's there. But yeah, I guess it would depend on how the crowd reacts, because she doesn't have the intent to fight. It was just draw attention, but of course she's not really thinking.
If you want to flee, that you certainly, with that visage and the look and the screams, you have the chance to rush into the darkness between these buildings if you wish. Leave your cousin there and make your getaway.
Yeah, let's go for that.
Okay.
Everyone's mad at me anyway.
Mark an element of your choice as
Okay.
you flee out, your face kind of returning back to normal, and people, but the hue and the cry going up there. So still heart bow. You've had a nice round gambling and such. Is there anything you want to do, or is this the time that you come up and hear people screaming about the Shark Finger Princess?
I think that I've been like, essentially I turned to Lee and I'm like, when this happens to me, I just sort of ask open-ended questions and make it clear that I'm not quite sure what they mean, because you'd be amazed how happy people are to fill in the blanks. And then we hear the screams and
The Shark Finger Princess! Oh my God! She struck this woman!
okay,
Murder!
I-
Murder!
yeah, and I think Val turns and goes, I have to find the princess. I'll be back. Goes.
And Bao
Oh.
takes off.
Yeah, as soon as
Lee?
you have no interest in that whatsoever.
I definitely I think I probably gently grab your arm.
I swing
I'll
back
come with
around.
you.
Oh, all right. Yes, I've heard she could be dangerous. Are you ready?
Stride forward.
Okay.
Oh no, I have to catch up now. There goes what dignity I had. Okay.
And the two of you will rush down the avenue of this boat, and you will come upon a crowd of guests and attendants that are clutching their pearls and kind of terrified. And there is a couple of guardsmen who are seeing to this wuxia woman who is laid out, who they are putting a compress on, and you can see the blood soaking through it. She looks like she's unconscious, and you arrive. And what do the two of you do?
I
I
think.
grab the closest person. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go for
I
it.
grab the closest person. Where did she go? Where did the shark princess go?
She appeared that she struck through that woman back into the and then she turned and she through these teeth she threatened us, and then she became one with the shadows.
I'm gonna shake this person. Where did she go?
And it kind of they gesture out, into the boat.
Toss them aside and stride off in that
Okay.
direction.
Stillheart, what do you do?
I think I'm trailing behind Shinley. I'm going, is everyone okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And when we kind of go by her, it's like, what happened?
They kind of give you the same story, perhaps a little bit more lucid, but they will say that that whoever it was struck this woman, Razor Eye's eyes. She's still unconscious. They will be taking her to the physiker to be healed. But it seems like, as people suggested, the princess is here aboard the boat.
And sort of stop and say, she may not have truly attacked this woman. Usually when the Shark Finger Princess attacks, it's a bit more gory than that. But never mind. Let's go.
So here's the thing. Sodden rope, because this is sort of a PvP player versus player thing. You do have a move for evading if you wish to take that one. I don't know if you've chosen to take that one or not. But we can also, if you want, we can narrate them coming upon you. Which would you like? How would you like to play that? What would be more interesting to you?
I mean, evading them is kind of like separating the party, so I'll pass and let them find me.
Okay, like where would they find you?
like I think she like fled until no, I think she probably reached a dead end and just like sat there and is basically making a why is everyone mad at me face.
So I think Lee, Bao, you're rushing along, following the trail as best you can. Gao saying, I sense something this way, and my sensing. I think there is a moment as the two of you are running along that the two ghosts maybe like look at each other. Like there's a second where, and maybe we see them, but they don't say anything, and then keep going.
Well, since I can see ghosts, can I see Gao? I imagine that I see Gao, but I don't realize he's a ghost.
Yeah, I think there's that
That-
maybe you
that-
think that Lee has a very strange eunuch following.
Yeah, exactly. So some sort of army thing, like a liaison.
And you will
Can I just say, like,
yeah.
before we get there, I actually like paused and realized that Still Heart Bow is still following, and I'll like turn around and like very gently, like I'm not really sure, very unsurely, like kind of like do this to like your arms.
Mhm.
Like, you should stay here and not follow.
And Bao stops and goes, no, I have to find out what happened. My family was destroyed.
By Sharkfinger Princess?
The only name that's associated with the event that I found. Do not know if it was Sharkfinger Princess who destroyed them, but that name was mentioned.
Very well, but can you promise me that if anything dangerous happens, you will let me handle it?
If anything dangerous happens, we'll both handle it. It will be better that way.
Yes.
Yes, let's go.
I follow along.
Then I'll stride because I've seen you
Yeah.
striding. So I picked up the technique.
Yeah.
I want to check in with Tan, and then I want to come back to the two of you finding sodden rope at the end of an alley of a barrels and store places and things there, the moonlight coming down, and that background saxophone sad sound there. But Tan, is there somebody you want to talk to? Is something you want to do, or do you have a reaction when you hear this?
Ton has been searching the crowd for Stillheart Bow, and perhaps still extolling their services as a monster hunter every once in a while. When they hear the shouts, they will assume that the ghosts of death and vengeance have infiltrated, and they're going to go not where the shouts are, but nearby, because their theory is that the ghosts will attack and then flee somewhere. So kind of going close to the commotion.
Then I think you will see Bao and Lee, see Lee's overreaction, see Bao's perhaps underreaction, and then the two of them go chasing off into the night there.
Well, I'm going to chase after them because I don't know that Bao knows, for one thing, that Iron Lion is here, and that would be a good thing for Bao to know. So yeah, I'll just chase after them.
Then I think that Lee, Bao, you kind of get to the mouth of this alley, realize that given what you know, what you've seen in the boat layout, that there's no escape from down this alley. But I think as you were perhaps readying yourselves to go down there, you hear the sound behind you, and you will see Tong coming up behind you.
Tong, good. We can use another strong arm. You're maybe chasing the Sharkfinger Princess.
Oh, are we?
Yes.
Have you seen? Do you know Iron Lion is here?
Oh, I'll have to go and pay my respects.
You will. He's.
Now you're rolling that inner conflict. So much striding.
2.
2. So I want you to mark an element.
All right.
And I think we will cut to elsewhere.
Okay.
And we see Iron Lion, and we see him talking to a figure. And he says, yes, yes, I've confirmed it. She bears the ghost. I will catch it for you. We'll take it from this monster hunter, and then you can do with it as you will. And the figure in shadow nods, goes, good, good. And then we cut back to the 3 of you at the mouth of this alley. And you step forward, and there's that probably that tension music. Step forward, and then there's that shift of light, like as the sail shifts and the light comes down, and you can see that sitting there is Sod and Rope. Sod and Rope, what do they see? Like, what do you look like now? Like, what's your attitude? I assume you've returned back to normal, but what do they see? Have you been crying? Are you holding yourself together? What do we see?
Yeah, I think she's crying, but her face is damp anyway, so it's kind of hard to tell. She's like hugging her knees to her chest, and I think she's just repeating that inner monologue that she spoke of before, of like, why is Onyx Viper angry with me? Why is Shark Finger Princess disappointed in me? Why did Hui Jing leave me? And she does, and like clearly doesn't notice that the 3 of them are there because she failed her role so hard.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got my I did unfurl my spear from my back, but when the light shines on Sod and Rope, I pause, and I don't put my spear away, but I'm clearly like not going to attack. But I'm actually like kind of looking around cautiously. And then I will approach.
Bao, Tang, do you also approach?
I kind of look overboard, like if I could see something swimming away. I expect that, nothing in the water. Sort of like, so did you see the princess?
You saying that to me?
Oh no, I'm saying that's
Okay.
Sod and Rope.
Okay.
Okay.
She looks up at you, but doesn't stand, and says, "It wasn't the princess. It was just me."
Wait, what?
You what? Why? So where is the princess?
Sod and Rope doesn't want to tell her. Him. I think Sod and Rope lets her eyes go dark again and looks up at Hui Jing and says, Quinley, and says, "Just do us both a favor and just leave me alone. You clearly want nothing to do with me."
And I think this is the first time that the 3 of you will see sodden rope, but with these full black shark eyes.
Oh, hey, you got some of that magic, don't you?
Tang, you were going to say something?
I would like to use a study roll to see if I can understand what's going on.
Let's have you roll.
I hope I'm not going to roll a 2 again because that was mortifying. How about a 9?
Nine. So you have one hold to ask a question or make a declaration.
I will ask the burning question is whether there is some influence here of a ghost of death and vengeance, because I am very worried about that. So I'm just making sure there's no kind of possession or ghostly stuff going on here.
So let me ask you, Soddenrope, I don't think that's what's happening. I think that what we've established is that something of the aspect of the Shark Finger Princess somehow has stayed with you, but it is you. And so I think Tang, with whatever sort of instruments or crystals or talismans that you have, you can tell that sodden rope is not possessed.
I will surreptitiously kind of use my crystals and things, kind of like the guys will look around, I'll be like, no, and then like, oh. So it's just determining all of this.
You're somewhat reassured.
Somewhat reassured. Good.
Lee, what do you say?
I will like stick the spear back and like sit down near sodden rope. And I'll like just like lightly tap your forehead. There you go again, thinking too much. What's this about that? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you can go. You can go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's this about that nobody wants you around?
She dries her eyes and says, well, you left so suddenly as soon as I mentioned the Shark Finger Princess.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with you. You're fine.
So comforting.
Comfort and support. Can I roll it?
Yeah, I think there's something of this is the way that the general tries to like I think Sodden Rope, you've known the general, so you can tell that this is
this is the best as he can do.
Yeah. Let's have you roll, Lee.
Okay, I'm gonna roll with patience, growth, and curiosity.
Okay.
All right, let's do this. Oh heck yeah! I roll a 10. -1 is a 9.
Okay. So Sodden Rope, you can clear an element if you want.
Huzzah.
Actually, actually, I'm gonna use my I'm gonna burn that bond I have with Xiaoyubo to bump it up to a 10.
Okay.
I think that,
which means that you may also clear an element if you want.
I dearly need that.
Okay. Like what is it that what's your reaction that shows that you kind of do appreciate and listen to what Lee is saying?
I bump my forehead against his.
Nice.
Yeah, and actually, and when you do that, I don't know if your eyes are still like shark eyes, but you also see like, oh, there's like a look where it's my eyes look normal, but it's like you just suddenly see the veins around my eyes. They all go black. And then I laugh and it kind of goes away. And I'll like punch you on the shoulder. You can't get rid of me, just like I can't get rid of you.
Oh.
Bow?
Still looking in the water, and I'm like, "You see on the ship?"
I was promised a princess.
And I just want to talk to her.
Are you like studying or something? Or-
Well, that's a good idea. I could study
Sure.
because I can see mystical things.
Mm-hmm.
I always forget that. Let's do it. So I guess I will roll. I'll roll water because I'm looking into the water.
Okay.
Now my dice are like everyone else's dice, and I get a 5
You get a 5.
total.
I think that as you are all there, I think you will hear some noise coming up behind you, and you will see a group of people led by Captain Fung, who sees you there and looks a little put off, and he says, what is going on? Stillheart Bow, why are you with, what is happening here?
There was an attack, and he sort of points to the water, but I think the attacker got away.
There was a report that the Sharkfinger Princess was seen. Is this true? He
And
looks at the 4 of you.
that's the thing is, we kind of go, Shark Finger Princess, no one knows what they look like.
And he kind of steps forward and kind of makes to like protectively move you away from the other 3.
I step forward and protectively push his hand away.
So Bao, you see this motion with this little man duel about to happen here.
I'm like, no,
Slap fight.
it's okay. I'll put an arm on each of their shoulders and I'll say, no, you're right. Standing here, watching the ripples in the water is not helping anything. Let's step away and have a conversation. And I will walk Captain Fong a little bit further away from here. I will let Chin Lee choose if he's coming or not, but I do start with my hand on his shoulder.
Okay, I see you walking away with Captain Feng. And oof, a blow to the heart.
Let's roll that inner conflict here.
Yeah.
Mark that
yeah.
XP. Sweet, sweet, delicious XP.
Exactly. I am gonna oh, I just unchecked my medal. Let's roll with that. Yeah.
The dice
It's-
giveth and taketh away.
I know, it's true. Control, reflect. Oh, okay. I rolled a 9. +1 is a 10.
Okay.
All right.
You keep yourself set. You're in command of your passions and your feelings right now.
I follow along.
What do you do, Sodden Rope? What do you do, Tang? Like when these 3 kind of move away, like clearly the matter has been for the moment settled. Do you say, Tom, do you say anything to Sodden Rope about how what you saw or what you scanned there? You were the one who had the crystals out, so do you think Sodden Rope saw you doing that, Tom?
Probably. I don't know that I was particularly subtle about it.
So what do you say to Sodden Rope?
I've got like one of those kind of like expressions where it's kind of like half like oh, okay, I'm willing to go a little far, but I still thought there's like black eyes, and I'm just I'm being a little cautious, standing back a little. And just it's clearly, you can't fraternize with monsters is the problem, and so you got to be careful about this stuff.
Sodden Rope, what's your reaction here?
I think she's emboldened by her sworn friend, making up with her sworn friend, yeah. And she looks at Tanglan and like grins with her shark teeth, and then follows after Quinley and still Harbao.
Okay.
Perfect. Let's take our second break. Take 5 here. We'll come back and we'll do another once around or some pairings up and see where things are at. Okay. So let's just take quick 5. So maybe what we should do is like do a scene of the 4 of you having a conversation here to maybe have a chance to kind of talk about what, and then maybe we cut forward a little bit of time. Does that seem like a reasonable approach to things? Then I think there is like we've cut that scene and we find the 4 of you in one of these areas of the boat that's been kind of set aside where the 4 of you can sit privately. Wine is brought. There are lanterns. You have a chance to talk amongst yourselves about what you've seen, why you're here, what it is you desire. So, Bao, once you've all settled in, food has been brought, drink. What is it you say to the others?
Sort of stop and I say, I have fault beside all of you. I know you to be good and solid companions. And you know that I am touched. Because for me, when I was a child, something terrible happened, something I can't remember. But when I came out of it, all of my relatives knew I wasn't the same. And when I have studied, when I have gone to scholars to find out what it is, they say that my chi was interrupted, that my ability to hold my fire chi is gone. It has made me strange. I am cold to the touch. My heart doesn't seem to beat, but it doesn't feel to me like I'm cold. And he sort of stops and says, but I was changed. And looks at Sodden Rope. And something happened to you.
Yes, I nearly drowned, and the ocean would have taken me if not for, I think before she finishes her sentence, she looks over at her sworn brother and says, the Shark Finger Princess.
That is a name to conjure with. That is an entity that is feared all across the land. Tell us what you know about them.
our interaction was brief. Once the water had been cleared from my lungs, she was gone.
But you're changed. Yes?
Something must have happened when she saved me.
And how do you feel about Shark Finger Princess?
I think the rosiness to her, or that suddenly comes to her damp cheeks, speaks for itself.
See, that's what I thought. So, don't want to come in swinging, but I don't understand what I'm dealing with. And sort of turns to Lee. I do not know if you have a story. Turns to Tonglong. I do not know if you have a story, but I feel some kinship with you, Satin Rope. So I would argue that as we have fought side by side, we should continue to trust each other.
Agreed.
Chin Lee, what is your reaction to this?
Sodden Rope, you're sure that it was the Shark Finger Princess who saved you?
Quite sure it was her who dove into the water and saved me.
Do you have an idea who threw you into the water?
It's all a haze at this point, as in just like whatever happened to you.
It's not a haze for me. I see it clearly.
No, I meant, and she meant like, I don't remember what happened to me. Just like I also don't remember I don't know what happened to you. Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay, got it. I'm gonna like look over at eunuch Gal eunuch and just like,
Yes. You needed something?
I'm like looking at everyone else and I'm like, okay, it's probably fine. Nobody can see. Nobody can see him. I'm like,
That's not entirely true, he says.
what? I'm gonna like turn away so that I'm not very clearly talking to no one. What do you mean?
Your friend Bao can see me. And the little girl he has with him.
Oh. I will turn to Bao and just be like, excuse me. And then I'm going to turn to Eunuch Gao again. Are you sure that it was the Shark Finger Princess?
Let's have you roll study.
All right. All right. Let's see what I'm going to roll with.
I'm watching them too roll.
Okay.
I'm going to roll with Earth.
Okay.
Or roll with caution. Nice. Rolled a 2.
Rolled a 2.
No. Oh no.
no. Lil's doing the GM hands.
It's the study roles that kill everyone you love.
I know. I should just not study anything.
I know. Just go around being ignorant.
I don't want to know anything at all.
No, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Ignorance is bliss.
He says, I am certain that the sharp-fingered princess was involved. But there is more than one of them.
There's more than one shark-fingered princess.
You'll see in a moment. And I think that that's when the sort of the room that you're in, the structure for the walls and stuff comes tearing open. And you will see this figure standing there in this mask. And you see that there are a trio of other figures, they're all women. And they're all the trio behind, and this one at the forefront. And you see that they have serpents wrapped around their wrists and hands, and the mask looks like the mask of a sea serpent. And they say, we have come for the one who bears the shark mantle. And they begin to move forward, staring at Sodden Rope. What do you do, Lee? They've torn through this wall, these three figures, clearly supernatural. They look a little bit like you've pictured the Shark-Finger Princess, but their masks and such are serpentine.
Pop that sword off. Oh, not sword. Pop that spear off my back. Is it a spear? Yes. That's
yes.
what I decided on. Yes. And I feel like I'm like, I still have fire checked. Oh yeah, heck yeah. I'm like immediately rushing for them.
Okay. So you're going to rush up into the immediate attack?
Yeah, striking the one in front.
Absolutely. Well, since they're together as a group here, they are at higher scale than you. So please roll.
Mm-hmm.
When you fight someone who is a higher scale than you, we roll.
Okay.
And you roll with, what's your style element?
Earth.
Earth. Okay.
So that is an 8.
That is an 8. So the sort of the sheer gathered force of the four of these supernatural beings, these serpent princesses, will drive you back. So tell us, you're going to mark an element. Tell us what that looks like. Like what happens there that drives you back as you rush at them with your spear.
Okay. So I'm sorry. I just was like checking Earth.
Sure.
So I just describe how I'm losing, or just
yeah. So you mark an element of your choice, and then you tell us like when you rush at them, they're going to push you back, but you get to narrate what that looks like what happens there. You're not completely defeated, but they have control of the situation.
Okay, so I like spin the spear, and I'm immediately like rushing forward to like strike, and I feel like they kind of like, all because they're in this formation, right? And then each of them, probably it's like their snakes do some like,
oh yeah,
like hiss.
absolutely. The snakes rush out. They can do them like whips. They can throw them.
Yeah. And they probably, I feel like one of them like grabs the spear and then another one grabs my foot. So then it like throws me off balance.
Okay. So you're thrown off balance. Let's come to the next person who's up. Let's say it's our monster hunter here. You know, this is kind of broken up. The figures have appeared. There's noise. Chin-Li has kind of been grabbed. What do you do, Tang?
You see Tan kind of unfolds from her chair, kind of in her very tall way, and is visibly pleased and gratified to just have something to hit.
Okay.
So like her two little clubs just slide into her hands and she begins the emphatic hail on the closest one. And the element I will use.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Are you also attacking someone that is in a formation that is above your scale, or are you doing something to try and reduce that scale? How impulsive are you right now?
I'm going to try and kind of hit the one on the end and smash them away from the others.
So you can use your style element for this, but you can be rolling overcome to kind of, you're trying to like use your force to reduce the scale of this group.
Roll water, so it's
Okay.
+2. 10.
A 10. So what does that look like? Like, how do you separate this sort of fourth serpent princess from the others?
You see that like there's the kind of like the rat-a-tat of the clubs, and you see they're kind of, and it just sort of, as they're kind of standing together, the clubs just kind of like beat them apart, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Knocks them back, kind of smash away. Sodden rope. You kind of stood, you see that there's one of these serpent princesses that's kind of been peeled off. They're probably on your scale individually. The other three are still there in formation, probably a higher scale than you right now. What do you want to do?
The one that attacked Chin-Li in the 3, or the one that peered off?
Since you're asking, they're probably in the 3. They're still formed together. Yeah.
Oh yeah. She's going to attempt to. She's going to attack the group, but her focus is on the one that's attacking her.
Okay.
Her battle buddy.
Then let's have you roll overcome to try and divide and conquer here.
Oh, well, if I'm attacking, I'm using the metal.
Absolutely.
It's my style thing. What? Oh, geez, I keep clicking the wrong thing. Sorry.
That's okay.
I rolled a 10, so I rolled
10.
a 12.
So it's awesome. Like what? Tell us what that looks like. How do you get in and kind of shatter apart the formation of these last 3?
Okay. Okay, so we're like in an alley. So she pulls out her meteor hammer from her sleeve, and again the water is flown off the rope, and she throws it at like a beam that's above them, and kind of uses it as like a grapple to like put herself between her battle buddy and the triad of serpent women, and like yanks it so it gets dislodged, and does a very like dramatic choreographed motion to reverse the weighted ends direction towards the 3 serpent ladies.
Yeah. Wood splinters, they go flying in all directions. They're launched into the air. We spend some budget on the martial arts and nice stunt team work there. It looks great. There, and Lee, you're kind of pulled like free from this person's grip. Still have bow though. The 4 are now separated. They are pulled apart. What do you want to do?
I understand that Chin Li has attacked the first one, so that one is theirs. Sad Rope has separated one off. Tang Lan has one, so I will take the remaining unengaged one and begin doing violence to
Absolutely.
its person.
Right now, for this moment, until they can gather themselves together, until they can weave their serpentine bodies together in a formation once again, they are on your scale. So go ahead and roll dual with your style element.
Okay. So this is rolling 2d6 and adding 2.
Yes.
So that's an 8.
That is an 8. So you can win at a cost.
Mm.
They escape. You look bad doing it. You mark an element. You can lose, get to mark XP, or you can deadlock and ask a question.
Ooh, deadlock and ask a question. I think I'll do that.
Okay, so how do you lock up? Like, what does that look like?
I think what it is I have Vanishing Mind, and usually I'm holding her hand, but actually when I'm in battle, I actually pick her up. And so she's sort of like on my hip while I'm doing this, so that I can protect her. It's what I find very strangely, like almost like I'm fencing in some ways, because
Okay.
I'm trying to keep her protected from them. But I think what happens is I've sort of, gotten a good hit on them, done some concussion, but it is more that my tells me to throw silver at them.
Okay.
And that's what it is that the silver is like, because there's the silver bridge to go to the afterlife, they kind of stop because there is that sort of tie that they have to death, Yeah.
They hiss back away from this, and it's very clear that this pure minted silver absolutely is a bane, an anathema to them.
Okay. And then I say, I just kind of go, so what do you have to do with the shark-fingered princess?
Well, they're not going to answer that question because you've already revealed the detail.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, the silver.
They have a vein.
So there we go.
All right. That's cool though too.
Okay. Chin Li, Sod and Rope has proved themselves has pulled these other away, and the one that was grabbing onto you has been pulled free from their grip on you, and you can face them down.
Yeah, I strike.
All right. They are on your scale. Let's have you roll duel.
All right. Yeah. Roll a 10. Plus 2 is 12.
So-
Finally,
So-
Chili can succeed at a duel.
You've got this badass spear, this serpent woman, like she has these snakes, and she does that thing where she straightens them and throws them like an arrow at you, and they're coming at you, fangs. Like, so what do you do? Like, how do you take her out?
I dash forward, and as the snakes come at me, I just huh, huh, and then knock them to the side. And then hold on. If I win, I can show mercy. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Does the general
Ooh.
show mercy?
I think I will at this point.
Okay.
Because
What
I don't actually know what's going on.
Okay. So what does it look like? Like what do we see that tells us that like on screen that moment of mercy here?
It's definitely the spear is at the tip. The tip is right at her neck. And then I stop. But it's the force is so strong that her hair
Whoosh
flows
back. Absolutely.
Oh, I can declare a shift in the fiction. Wow. But I kind of want to just ask a question. I think, well, I will ask, are you the Shark Finger Princess?
No, we are not. We'll come back to you in a second. But Tong, there you can see that Sodden Rope has won, but there's this one that you've knocked aside that is getting back up to strike at you.
I'm gonna knock them back down.
Okay. Let's have you roll duel with your style element.
And let's see. All right. It is an 8 + 2, 10.
Oh yeah. So what is that like? Like now you've gotten them cleared, and finally you have the room to just absolutely go ham. What does that look like?
They start to get up, and it just like the clubs go pop 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 pop, and they're like down, end up like right on their forehead, and they go whoa, and just kind of go straight back down.
Just hit, and probably that final sort of drumbeat blow that sends them flying to the floor there, they kind of skitter sinuously trying to get back up, but they are clearly out of it, leaving that last one for you, Sodden Rope. The field has been cleared, except there's one left. What do you do? You are muted.
So we're at equal scale, correct?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so can't do the thing. I mean, still heart bow out of character, didn't get to ask the question he wanted to, so and she would want to know anyway, so I think that she wants to take the opportunity to ask why they're looking for someone with the shark mantle.
Okay. Let's have you roll study with like the potential cost for failure being escape or damage or something, kind of in combat situation. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. I will roll with Wulin because I'm curious.
Yeah, feel free to roll with your style element too.
Style element. Oh, okay.
If you want, because it gives in the combat sort of situation here.
By all means, that gives me a +2. I will definitely do that. 5. It's a good thing I did, because I have a 7 altogether.
So what's the question? Like you're swinging your meteor hammers around, kind of cutting back, cutting them off from escape. And what is it you're asking? What is it you want to know?
Why are you after the one with the shark mantle?
She says, it is the time of transition. It is the time when the mantles pass, when the princesses decide who they will be, and when we can take their powers from one another. You should know this. You've been chosen.
Sodden Rope is very confused. This sounds like this ritual stuff is above her pay grade.
And I think there'll be that thing where you will see this figure like turn into a snake, like into a serpent, and the others will fall into that sort of giant green, white, silver snake form, and kind of clearly flee the scene. All of you may mark XP for the bad guys taking their dramatic escape here.
So close to a thing.
Am I still allowed to declare something, or did
I
use
that I
up
think
with
that's
asking
fair
my
for you to
question?
do that.
Yes. I want to say that I want to say that they are all very impressed with, with my martial prowess.
Oh yeah, I think they're actually like you can tell there's probably a little bit of silver on that spear, and like at least one of them says, "We know that spear. You are not who you say you are. You are." And like maybe their eyes get bigger in recognition of who you might be. And it's like the general. And they back away terrified and slip into the water. Does that seem fair?
That's awesome.
I think that's where we're going to stop for today. Let's do a quick check through for end of session XP, and then we'll do stars and wishes. So let's start. Bow. I think we hit both of your entanglements there. So that is 3 XP.
Thank you.
And I think we hit a tongue. I think you hit both of you. I think you ran into both of your entanglements. So that's 3 points for you.
Excellent.
Oh, and definitely for you, Bo, 3 XP for you. And oh yeah, and definitely for Chin Li, 3 points. If you've gotten 8 points, anything extra will wrap over. When you kick advance, you can take a new move from your own playbook. You can take a move from another playbook, or you can advance an element by +1. You can advance each element just once. All right, Sherry, still heart bow.
Yes.
Stars and wishes.
Oh, we get the melodrama going. I'm really enjoying this. Yeah. It's starting to get rolling pretty nice. So it's really great to be with a bunch of monsters. And I love that Bao just assumes Tong is one too, because the rest of us are. So just, you must be if you're hanging with us. So I really, but yeah, this is feeling really good and natural. So looking forward to it. I can't wait to see, I can't wait to actually run into a shark finger princess, or I'm not sure if that's what's going to happen.
Okay.
Watch my friend sudden rope turn into one. So I don't know. I don't want that to happen, and yet I just, it would all be awesome. So this is one of the most monstery of the supernatural plays of this that we've done, and it's really interesting. I'm really digging it.
Nice. Cat, stars, wishes.
I really love I like the fact that poor Tan is like, I don't know, are they monsters? And then that moment where Sodden Rope kind of flashed the shark grin, and it is like, oh fuck. I thought that was awesome. I am also looking forward to Sharkfinger Princess's appearance. I am grooving on all of this and enjoying it immensely.
All right. And a Sodden Rope.
Yeah, I'm loving the drama between the battle buddies and and their relationship, their conflicting relationship with the same person. I'm realizing now that Zhao Yubo being chosen, that she probably realizes that she actually isn't chosen, since Sugarfinger Princess thought that she was Perfect Cloud at the time. So this probably actually makes her feel worse.
Oh.
I'm eating it up. It's great. My wish is to find out what really happened to Huijing, because it's a mystery that it seems to be entangling a bunch of people, and I'm looking forward to having that be unraveled. And on that note, I'm not. I don't. Forgive me. I don't remember if this happens this session or next session. I think I want to change one of my entanglements.
Sure. Yeah, we can check in at the beginning of the session and shift those around. Those should always be flexible to make those shifts as a response to play. So I'm going to make a note of that so that we check in on it, definitely. And then Chin Lee.
My star definitely goes to all of the melodramatic moments. One of which is Solomon Rope just being so sad.
Yes.
Why does everyone hate me? And then acting out and then being like, oh God, Sharp Princess. I loved that part. That was like a great like fiction driving moment. So that was really fun. And I also love another star to you, Lol, for bringing in that drama with the bride and Chin Lee, which my character doesn't catch, but I was like, oh, juicy. Oh. So I was really hyped about that. So those are my stars. My wish is I think my wish is for Chinli to kill someone next time, because I feel like he's been faffing about too much and he needs to take decisive action towards his vengeance. So
find one target of vengeance. So have Gao point out someone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it can
So
also
do
be
you
someone.
trust Gao?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Cause he also died, just like I did. Why wouldn't he?
It's like you're twins.
Yeah.
And he's smarter than me. So I listen to him.
Absolutely. He's certainly not using you for his own. I mean, let's go on. Yeah, no, I think that's great. Awesome. I think that's a perfect pick. All right. I am going to stop the recording.